judgment. And then those sages said, Auttanapada Bhagavan Stava Sharanga Dhanva Deva Kshinotvan Vanatarti Haro Vipakshan Yannamadheyam Abhidhaya Nishamya Chadha Lokonjasa Tarati Dustaramanga Mrutyum. All the sages said, Dear Dhruva, O son of King Uttanapad, may the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Sharanga Dhanva, who relieves the distresses of his devotees, kill all your threatening enemies. The holy name of the Lord is as powerful as the Lord himself. Therefore, simply by chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord, many men can be fully protected from fierce death without difficulty. Thus, a devotee is saved. They asked him to take shelter of the holy name of the Lord. Yannamadheyam abhidhaya nishamya chadha. So Srila Prabhupada said once that no more material body. When we practice Krishna consciousness, no more material body, no more material world, no more any misery. As long as we are in this material world, we'll have miseries. Then one devotee said, if we are slaves of anger, we cannot use anger at all. Here, Dhruva Maharaj is apparently under the sway of anger. One who has conquered anger can use it as a tool. Anger is a tool. It can be used for Krishna Seva and Vaishnava Seva. Bhakta Krodha Dveshi Jane. Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane, sorry. Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane. Those who are envious of devotees, against them, Krodha, anger should be used. And here, Yakshas have been quite envious of Uttam, especially that particular Yaksha. They did not just offend Uttam by speaking some blasphemy, rather they killed him. One of the 6 ways one may commit offenses to devotees is Hanti. Hanti nindanti vadveshti, Vaishnavan abhinandati. Hanti, killing a Vaishnava. So Uttam was killed by one of the Yakshas. So that's why anybody who commits Vaishnava aparadh, against them, the anger can be used, which Dhruva Maharaj is using. But while fighting with the Yakshas, when he was overpowered by their tricks, then these sages asked him to take shelter of the holy name of the Lord, which he does. That we'll see in this chapter. Has anyone got it or not yet? Okay. So first text. Maitreya vacha nishamya gadatam eva ऋषिणां धनुषी ध्रुवः सन्दधे अस्त्रम् उपसृष्य यन्नारायणनिर्मितम्. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Shri Maitreya said, My dear Vidura, when Dhruva Maharaj heard the encouraging words of the great sages, he performed the Achman by touching water and then took up his arrow made by Lord Narayan and fixed it upon his bow. How amazing is Vedic life. For shooting arrow, he is doing Achman. He is going to bring forth blood from the body of his enemies. And before bringing out transformation of water in the form of blood, he does Achman like that. But this is not because just like that, because this is Narayana Astra. This is not some ordinary weapon anyway. This is not like current today's world fight. This is all Divyastras are there. So they have to be invoked by praying to that particular Lord. Like Agnyastra and all other astras, they are by some demigods. Similarly, this is Narayana Astra, Lord Narayan's Astra. Purport Prabhupada says, Dhruva Maharaj was given a specific arrow made by Lord Narayan himself, and he now fixed it upon his bow to finish the illusory atmosphere created by the Yakshas. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita 7:14, Mamaivaya prapadyante mayam etam tarantite Without Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one is able to overcome the action of the illusory energy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also given us a nice weapon for this age, as stated in the Bhagavatam, Sango Pangastra Parshatam. In this age, the Narayanastra, or weapon to drive away Maya, is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra in pursuance of the associates of Lord Chaitanya, such as Advaita Prabhu, Nityanand, Gadadhar, and Srivas. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Such nice comparison Prabhupada has given. Dhruva Maharaj, in order to dispel Maya or illusory tricks employed by the Yakshas, he used Narayanastra. So similarly, Maya is very active in the world, always. Devi Esha Gunamayi. This is her world. Maya Adhyakshena Prakruti. She is ruling over material world. So in order to dispel this illusion created by Maya, we need to take shelter of weapon gifted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is Narayanastra. This is Chaitanyastra. Or Panchatattvaastra. Panchatattva Astra. They have awarded us. So anytime we feel getting carried away by Maya, we should chant loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in commentary says, in the 11th chapter, Manu, seeing the destruction of the Yakshas, stops Dhruva from killing them after giving scriptural instructions. He will come little later. Second, Sandhiyamana etasmin Maya guhyaka nirmitaha Kshipram vineshur vidur Klesha jnanodaye yatha. So Guhyak are the Yakshas. That is their technical name also. As soon as Dhruva Maharaj joined the Narayan Astra arrow to his bow, the illusion created by the Yakshas was immediately vanquished, just as all material pains and pleasures are vanquished when one becomes fully cognizant of the self. Here also another analogy is given. So if we are only conscious that we are not body, we are spiritual, all the pains and pleasures go away. So-called positive distractions and so-called negative distractions are all so-called only in one sense, because in one sense there is nothing that exists. But because of our identification with the body is very strong, so sometimes we are elated, very happy when good things happen for our body or for our mind or for our intelligence or for our false ego. And on the contrary, when opposite things happen for our body or for our mind, for our intelligence or our false ego, then we experience pain. So pain and pleasure, these are just two sides of the same coin called as illusion. So we experience this. And one who is on the platform of soul, he does not. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. He is very cheerful, blissful, happy. Na shochati na kangshati. When one loses something very dear to heart, then he experiences pain and he laments. And when one gains something which is very dear to heart, then he is very happy. So, na shochati na kangshati. There is no aspiration also for one who is on soul platform or on the spiritual platform. So one devotee was saying that mind can give hopeless end or endless hope. Isn't it? People keep aspiring, I want this, I want that. So there is, they get frustrated. Basically, mind is going by modes. In passion, or in ignorance, there is hopeless end. Doesn't seem only that the end would come. Seems like it will never come. And other is endless hope. So much hope is there. Hum honge kamayab, hum honge kamayab, hum honge kamayab ek din. I don't know ahead. मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन. God knows what kamayabi they want, what kind of success they want, but maybe this is what they call patriotic song, that we will be independent one day from British rule. I don't know who composed, but whatever. Everybody keeps saying the same thing. We'll be successful one day. Nobody will be successful as long as they are in the bodily concept of life. Rather, they will be defeated. Parabhavastavad abodha jato yavanna jigya sat atma tattvam. 11th canto, it is said, unless one inquires about one's atma tattva, about one's real identity, yavan jigyasata atma tattvam, yavanna jigyasata atma tattvam, he does not do jigyasa, that who am I, and he doesn't reach the conclusion, basic minimum, aham brahmasmi, till then parabhavas, he will meet with only defeat. Abodha jato is ignorant about itself. So there is no question. So the mind in ignorance gives hopeless end, and in passion has endless hope. Always one thinks. So they say that in Hindi, it's in there is this one sentence is there. आदमी विकलांग शरीर से नहीं मन से होता है. One is not a handicapped person by his body, but by his mind. In YouTube or in outside world, you'll find there are some movies how some handicapped person, somebody came across, met with some accident, and he lost some part of body. But then how he was very enthusiastic, he was what they call ambitious and this and that, and they achieved great heights. In the sense, something which even person who is not handicapped, nicely having body, such a person also cannot achieve that kind of success they achieved with handicap. So because their mind was not handicapped, whereas those who have good body, bodily entire body is there, good functioning, but mind is handicapped, so they are handicapped. They can't do what they could have easily done otherwise. So mind should not be handicapped. His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj said once that in the midst of devotees we should do three things: Hari Kirtan, Hari Katha, and Hari Prasad. So we should do Kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Katha, we should discuss about Krishna. And at the end of Hari Katha and Hari Kirtan, we should take Hari Prasad. Bhoga which is offered to Krishna becomes Prasad, and we should take that. So here he says, first 5 shlokas are about Dhruva Maharaj overcomes the Yakshas' illusions and massacres them. In that first 3 verses, Dhruva employs the Narayanastra on the Yakshas, which we are discussing. In purport, Prabhupada says, Krishna is like the sun, and Maya or illusory energy of Krishna is like darkness. Darkness means absence of light. Similarly, Maya means absence of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness and Maya are always there, side by side. As soon as there is awakening of Krishna consciousness, all the illusory pains and pleasures of material existence are vanquished. Maya metam tarantite. Constant chanting of the Mahamantra will keep us always aloof from the illusory energy of Maya. Now also in this room you can see some part is in light and other part is in darkness. Which part is in light? That which is directly receiving sunlight. And which part is in darkness? That which is not able to receive sunlight. But both are simultaneously existing. So Maya and Krishna are simultaneously existing. But where there is Krishna, there is no Maya. Where there is light, like I think our Prabhu is sitting. Which Priya? Subal Priya Prabhu. Sorry, I know you are Priya. You are very dear to my heart. But I forgot that you are dear to the heart of Subal also. Subal has. So Subal Priya Prabhu is sitting in light, so he is illuminated, shining. Swayam Prakash. Means not Swayam Prakash, Surya Prakash is shining around his body. So that part is in light because he is sitting in sunlight. And if we don't sit in sunlight, then our body will be in darkness. So Jahan Krishna Tahan Nahi Maya Radhikar. Where there is Krishna, there is no Maya. Constant chanting of the Mahamantra will keep us always aloof from the illusory energy of Maya. How many of you feel that you get sometimes in Maya? Sometimes, okay? I cannot raise hand. I will not raise hand for this question because I am not sometimes in Maya. I am all the time in Maya. Like that. Once one devotee asked His Holiness Radha Maharaj, Maharaj, how can one remain humble? Maharaj said, where is the question of remaining humble? First, one should become humble. What kind of question are you asking? How to remain humble? Means assuming that you are humble. One should ask question, how can I become humble? So if you say that sometimes you are in Maya, then I think we are in super Maya. At least while answering the question, we are in Maya. That yeah, sometimes I'm in Maya. We're all the time in Maya. And by Vaishnava's grace, sometimes we come out of Maya by their association, not by our grace, by their grace, His grace or His divine grace, like that. Okay. Then third, Tasyar Shastram Dhanushi Paryunjataha Suvarnapunkha Kalaham Savasasaha Vinishruta Avivishurdvishadvalam Yathavanam Bhimaravaha Shikhandinaha. Even as Dhruva Maharaj fixed the weapon made by Narayan Rishi onto his bow, arrows with golden shafts and feathers like the wings of a swan flew out from it. They entered the enemy soldiers with a great hissing sound, just as peacocks enter a forest with tumultuous crowing. Have you heard? Peacocks, they crow. They produce that sound. And especially if they are entering in forest, they are in group and they all are entering, so it produces tumultuous crowing. Very powerful. Vishnu Shakti Thakur guides us. Arshastram means Arsha Astram means the weapon of the sage Rishi Narayan. The shaft and tip were gold. The feathers were from swans. The word Sharaha, arrows, should be supplied. So it is golden arrow with feathers of swan. So very nice. So this is not some ordinary arrow. This is Narayanastra. So that's why details are also given by our acharyas. The shaft, that long rod and tip, they are all gold. But for holding, it requires some kind of grip. So that is with the feathers. Here in this case, they are made up of swans feathers. Yes.
Here the Dhruva Maharaj is, when he is taking the arrow, all the illusions are gone. The astra is compared to holy name here, in our case also. But when we start chanting, all the illusions will come. All the illusions in the sense.
Because we are not chanting purely, that's how illusions come. If you chant purely, the illusions will be dispelled. Shortest answer. Hopefully sweetest. So we are in the modes, no? That's why. So then it problem comes. You just sit the way other day His Holiness Sachidananda Swami Maharaj said in that book, The Living Name, that you invite your spiritual master in the region of your heart, or sit at his lotus feet in some very holy place. Like you can sit at Mansi Ganga in Vrindavan, Govardhan, near Mukuti Shila, Mukharvinda. Mansi Ganga is there, next to that huge pond where Krishna performs so many pastimes. So you can give a very nice high seat, very beautiful seat. You can give Simhasan also, royal throne to your spiritual master. Generally we give Vyasasan. It's also good. Vyaspit. It's learned Vyasdev, who is the Rachita, he is the compiler of all the Vedas. We give Vyasasan to spiritual master. But he deserves to get Simhasan also, the royal seat. The kings would offer that. The kings would see some sage is coming. Immediately they would stand up, bow down, and ask him to sit on that Simhasan on which the king sits. That is the highest seat. So how can the king sit there and have the sage sitting on some other asan, which is not as high as that? So he would give that Simhasan only. So we can give that to our spiritual master, and sitting at his lotus feet, you can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Seeing how absorbed he is in chanting the holy name, how he relishes, how for him this is life, chanting the holy name. So if we chant like that, then all the illusion will be dispelled. But we are in ignorance, innocence. Oh, yesterday night did not get proper rest. Now I have to cover it up. Now I have to cover it up. Means in chanting I have to cover it up, like that. Because 4:30 to 5:30 there was no option. We had to be standing in Mangalati and in Tulsi Aarti, etc. But now is the time. And to at least Shikshastakam also some variation was there. So that is all over now. Now there is no variation. It's auto mode. Auto mode means sleeping mode. 1, 2, 3, highest gear. And soon we go to sleep. So that will not do. Or we are allowing ourselves to think that I am so and so. I am the manager of the temple. I am the department head. I am the counselor. I am this. I am that. All that upadhis. That is passionate chanter. So he will be going Manorathena sati dhavato bahihi. He's wandering, his mind is wandering all over the world. So this is impure chanter. So one should chant purely. Then the illusion will be dispelled. Otherwise, mixed chanting, that is mixed modes, more mixing the modes, that is not good. Then the aparadhas will increase, anarthas will increase also. Inattentive chanting is the mother of all the other 10 offenses. So one should not continue. Madhyamadhikari, or who can get to Madhyamadhikari stage? One who is conscientiously avoiding offenses during chanting and other times of the day also. So one has to endeavor. Without endeavor, you cannot get Krishna, isn't it? Tatra laulyam ekalam chamulyam. If you are not ready to pay price, how would we get Krishna? Krishna is not some cheap person. Even cheap persons of this world also, so-called dignitaries, so-called politicians or famous figures of the world, you cannot get them so easily. Now you cannot invite Narendra Modi here. Come for Bhakti Vaibhav class. Here somehow our 15 members are not there. You please fill up the gap. So it's not so easy to get even cheap persons of this world. What to speak of Krishna, who is the chief person of the world. He got Agra Puja in the Rajaswiya Yagya performed by our Yudhishthira Maharaj. And that person had to be most worshipable person and agreeable by all. Then Sahadev spoke and Bhishma spoke, so many people spoke and proved Krishna is the only one. And Shishupal did not agree at all, nor did his friends. But they allowed the puja to go on so that they could spoil it fully. Saying that what a nonsense is this Rajasuya Yagya, where the third class person was worshipped, giving him the first worship. So whole Yagya will be spoiled. So he allowed it, and then towards the end he spoke all the blasphemy to Krishna. So like that. So this illusion will be dispelled. And for that, otherwise that's why he said, Bahu Janma Gauri Yadi Shravana Kirtan Tabutana Paye Krishna Pade Premadan. If we continue to be in the modes of Rajogun, Tamogun, or even Sattvagun, then the aparadhas will increase, and by dint of aparadhas, one won't be able to get love for Krishna. So it's very dangerous. So we have to tell Krishna that I want you. I don't want illusions that your Maya creates. One has to have bold declaration. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashati. You declare it boldly, Arjun, that my devotee never perishes. That Krishna has declared long before, 5,000 years back. Now we have to declare that I am that devotee. Krishna, I am that devotee. Not with pride. That. So if you prove that you are a devotee, then Krishna already has said, my devotee will never perish. He will flourish. He will flourish. So we have to prove that I am devotee. For that we have to do Manmana Bhavamat Bhakto Madhyaji Maham Namaskuru and Nameruchi, Vaishnava Seva, Jiyodaya. We have to, even if we don't have, we have to endeavor in that direction. Isn't it? Vaishnavas we have to serve. Otherwise illusion will overpower us. So many people get illusioned in so many different ways. Maya is very tricky. Okay, so fourth. तैस्तिग्मधारैः प्रधने शिलीमुखैर् इतस्ततः पुण्यजना उपद्रुतः तम् अभ्यधावन् कुपिता उदायुधः सुपर्णमुन्नाथफणा इवाहयः. Those sharp arrows dismayed the enemy soldiers, who became almost unconscious, but various yakshas on the battlefield, in a rage against Dhrumaraj, somehow or other collected their weapons and attacked. Just as serpents agitated by Garuda rushed towards Garuda with upraised hoods. All the Yaksha soldiers prepared to overcome Dhruva Maharaj with their upraised weapons. So they seem to be having upper hand. I mean, in one sense, they have raised their hands also with the weapons in their hands, upraised weapons. They seem to be so many in number and with all weapons and attacking one man only, Dhruva Maharaj. But analogy is so nice, clarifies what is the position. They are compared to serpents, venomous serpents. They may have hoods and raised hoods also. They raise their hoods, the serpents, cobras, etc. But if they are raising hoods and running towards Garuda, what is the hope? Will they last in front of Garuda? He will smash them all. They will be all destroyed. So nice analogy. Though they are many in number and so to say overpowering, but they are powerless in one sense. They will be smashed. So Bhagavatam gives very nice analogies like that, several places. Fifth one. So this fourth and fifth are about as the agitated yakshas rushed, Dhruva cuts their limbs and sent them to Satyalok. That will come in this fifth. Satan prushat kairabhidhavato mrudhe nikrutta bahur ushidharo nikrutta bahur ushidhorodharodaran Ninaya lokam paramarka mandalam Vrajanti nirbhidya yam urdhvaretasaha. When Dhruva Maharaj saw the Yakshas coming forward, he immediately took his arrows and cut the enemies to pieces. Separating their arms, legs, heads and bellies from their bodies, he delivered the Yakshas to the planetary system which is situated above the sun globe and which is attainable only by first-class brahmacharis who have never discharged their semen. So here also analogy comes. Means some details are given. Prabhupada in purport second paragraph says about urdhva retasaha, which means brahmacharis who have never discharged semen. Such a brahmachari is also in ideal sense called as Naishthika brahmachari. He was always fixed in serving the absolute truth. Nishtha was very high. So Naishthik brahmachari. So because his Nishtha is situated in serving the Lord only, so that's why he will not release semen for any other purpose, in the sense wasting his semen, because semen represents energy. 64 drops of blood mix into 1 drop of semen. So when one is sexually agitated, he may release lot of semen, means hundreds and thousands of drops of blood in that sense. So blood is energy in the body. So one should use that in the service of the Lord. They say, no, he is, gave his blood and sweat for it. So when you work very hard, in one sense your blood gets dried up. In one sense, it is used. You may become lean and thin when you work very hard. And sweat, you sweat also when you work very hard, sweat will happen. So that represents somebody who has worked very hard for a particular cause. So one should give one's blood and sweat for Krishna. Pure devotee will do that. Or first class brahmachari also will give his blood and sweat for Krishna's service. So blood in the form of semen, he will never give for any ulterior motive or low class purpose like sexual agitation. So he will never discharge semen, and such a person is called as Naishthika brahmachari. But otherwise, simpler or on ground level, Naishthika brahmachari is also one who never marries, one who never has sex and remains brahmachari throughout life. He is also called as Naishthika brahmachari. But in ideal sense, one who never discharges semen. His semen never goes down. So when semen never goes down, then it goes up in the body. So it goes up, 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 up. And such a person then becomes very brilliant, very effulgent, very intelligent, and very sense controlled. So many ojas, tejas, so many characteristics are explained of a very pure brahmachari. Celibacy is so important that even though one does not undergo any austerities, penances or ritualistic ceremonies prescribed in the Vedas, if one simply keeps himself a pure brahmachari, not discharging his semen, the result is that after death he goes to the Satyalok. Even if he does not perform any austerity, any penance, he will go Satyalok, above Suryalok, Surya Mandal, that's what he's saying, Arka Mandal, Arka means Surya. He will go beyond that. Prabhupada also said, generally sex life is the cause of all miseries in the material world. In the Vedic civilization, sex life is restricted in various ways. So only grihasthas are allowed sex for procreating Krishna conscious children. Sex for procreation and not for recreation. Now if we see in the whole world 800 crore population, most of the people release semen for recreation. Very few for procreation. Out of social pressure they want children, so they may use that time sex for procreation. But many other times they are uncontrollable. Even devotees who are chanting 16 rounds, I know some Prabhujis, and they tell it's very difficult, Prabhu. My wife gets agitated, and when she approaches me, I cannot control, and all that stuff. So, and some others, all varieties of things. I don't know whether to tell or not. They do some operation for Matajis, and Mataji cannot become pregnant, and then the Prabhu is having sex with such a wife, and they are initiated. Both are initiated. So this will not lead to purity. Then I told that fellow, put that bag again in that Mataji's stomach or whatever womb, and procreate children. Have 5-6 children. Don't have illicit sex like this. This is not allowed. Sex with one's own legally married wife, not for procreation, is also considered illicit sex in the real sense of the term. So one should not. So he was shocked when I said that. Again, because it seems some kind of bag from the body of the lady is removed, then she cannot become pregnant. Huh? Huh? Nasbandi. Compulsory. Removing the. Because otherwise they will have sex and then she'll become pregnant. So, family planning. What? Family planning? This is. Okay, whatever. But the point is, at least ISKCON devotees, if you are counseling some Prabhus, you tell them. One of my friends, what is his name? He has 4 or 5 children, all sons. Sitaram Prabhu, you all know in Jew. So he has, earlier he had 4 sons, but somebody said 5. But whatever, 4 sons itself, means 4 children itself is a big, what they call, breakthrough in the world today. They are having only 2 children max, many times 1, and many unfortunately don't have any children only. So 2 children max, generally speaking. Some people have 3, but he has 4. He was a brahmachari earlier. Now this is getting discharged. So then he has. I think all 4 are in Gurukul. So no problem. So that is legal. Have sex and then produce Krishna conscious child and take the responsibility for raising the child in a Krishna conscious way. That is okay. And for that matter, that's what Bhakti Thakur said. If I could produce Krishna conscious children, I would have sex hundreds of times and produce 100 children. But I cannot make any child Krishna conscious, so better I remain a brahmachari only. So he remained Naishtik brahmachari. So that's the point. So unless one develops a test, gets ruchi in Naam, chanting the holy name, and in devotional service, it's difficult to control the sexual desire. Because Maya is always pulling downward. So the semen will go downward only. Only one who endeavors by the assistance of devotees, Guru, Krishna, such a person can go upward, beyond, opposite to the force of Maya, and his semen will go upward. And then so many glorious qualities such a brahmachari will have. Is urdhva retasaha. Retas means semen. Urdhva means upward. Upward flowing semen. So one should keep himself very, very Krishna conscious in order to avoid this downflow of semen. So one devotee was saying that how to get Krishna Prem. If one has Krishna Prem, then one will not have Maya Prem. Maya Prem is in the form of all this seminal loss. Many boys in the hostel and all do all this stuff, masturbation, and nowadays gay also. Very horrible. I don't want to speak some things here, but very horrible. Boys also have union with each other. Boys, boy, boy, boy. Gay culture in the hostel only. So all nonsense goes on. So how to get Krishna Prem? Gaur Kishoda Babaji Maharaj said, it takes only some 1 rupee 25 paisa to get Krishna Prem. How? By just purchasing 2 books of Srila Narottam Das Thakur Mahasaya, Prem Bhakti Chandrika and Prathana. 2 books you purchase. Now they may be 125 rupees. In those years, around 100 years back, it was for 1 rupee and 25 paisa. So it's worth it. How many of you have read Prathana prayers? No? Shri Prem Bhakti Chandrika? We in our council meeting, we discussed it. I think 10 sittings around. Very beautiful book. Very nice, very revealing. Okay, now 6th to 14. Manu's reasons not to kill the yakshas. Why he should not kill yakshas? So here some discussion about going beyond Arkamandal also. In Satyalok, by his arrows, Prushakaihi, he brought them with severed thighs to Satyalok, that is Param, where the sannyasis go after surpassing the sun planet. Because of being killed by the hand of a devotee, they got special elevation. So it's very difficult to get raised all the way to Brahmalok. Not so easy. Even to go to Swargalok also requires so much of piety. What to speak of beyond Swargalok. But then, because they got killed by a pure devotee like Dhruva, so they got that elevation. Just like Lord, when he kills demons, they get liberated. Likewise, pure devotee also can elevate. A devotee of the Lord, pure devotee of the Lord, is more powerful than the Lord by the mercy of the Lord, by the empowerment of the Lord. Like power of attorney. You hand it over to somebody who is not part of your lineage. But if you hand him over that power of attorney, then he becomes powerful like you. By your grace only. You only have empowered him. So pure devotees are empowered by the Lord. So 6 to 14, Swayambhu Manu reasons not to kill the yakshas. Tan hanyamanan abhiviksha guhyakan anagasaschitrarathena bhurishaha autanapadim krupaya pitamaho manurjagadopagatah saharshibihi. When Swayambhu Manu saw that his grandson Dhruva Maharaj was killing so many of the yakshas who were not actually offenders, out of his great compassion he approached Dhruva with great sages to give him good instruction. So instead of searching out the particular yaksha who killed Uttam, Dhruva started killing the whole group of yakshas. So that was the concern of Swayambhu Manu, his own grandfather. Dhruva is son of King Uttampan, who is son of Swayambhu Manu. So grandfather king. So if you have seniors, they can protect us in the times when we might get bewildered or we may go on wrong track. So one devotee said, more important than being a big preacher is to be free from envy. Many of us wish to be very big preachers, isn't it? That contamination is there in the heart. I want many followers. We say, na dhanam, na janam, na sundari. In the heart of our heart, we aspire for dhanam also, janam also, and sundarim also. So, followers we want, and we want to preach, we want to influence others, we want to impress others. So that is not good. Rather, one should be free from envy. This is more important. We should not try to impress our personality on others' hearts. The ideal preacher is one who impresses Krishna on the hearts of all those who listen to him, all those who he is guiding. Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache. Amito kangal, Krishna Krishna boli, dhai taba pache pache. So just like disciples should run behind Guru saying, please give me Krishna, because we have Krishna and you can give Krishna. So the preacher or Guru should also be always giving Krishna. Let me be able to describe Krishna in such an amazing way. Krishna is amazing anyway. He is amazing Lord. out of the world. He is from that outside the world only, but he comes in this world also. So let me get the ability to describe Krishna in such a way that everybody's heart is impressed by Krishna. Like that should be the mood. But when envy is there in heart, then we want to impress our personality on others' hearts, and are very eager to hear how you felt, how you liked my class. I'm giving such a nice, or kirtan I led, or this management I did, or this service I did. Are you impressed or not? Or dressing I did. We can use our false ego in every service. His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj said that. So while dressing the deities, we are not dressing the deities, we are dressing our false ego. And somebody cooking for the Lord, he is not cooking for the Lord, he is again cooking for his false ego only, making it very tasty. He wants to hear. Similarly, one more thing. Every field of life, garland you make and offer to the Lord. So you are thinking, my garland is on Vrindavan Chandra's chest. Radharani is wearing my garland. What your garland? The flowers came from Prakriti, Mayadhyakshana Prakriti, that is working under Krishna. And all the ingredients for making garland like thread, needle is all provided by Krishna only. The abilities in man is also given by Krishna. Krishna says that Shabdakhe Paurusham Nrushu. Nrushu among the human beings, Paurusham, their ability, that comes from me. If Krishna is not there, the man is helpless, is disabled. He may not be handicapped, but is disabled, cannot function only. So Krishna gives that strength, but we think I made the garland. All the talents, everything comes from Krishna. Ours is only one thing. What? Desire. Desire to serve. I want to serve Krishna. I want to make garland for him. I want to dress him. I want to cook for him. I want to, whatever, a number of things. Only desire belongs to us. Everything else is supplied by Krishna only. Ability also, the ingredients also, the everything. Like best of the cooks, if he is made to cook in this lawn here outside, what can he cook? His head will get cooked because so much wind blowing there, isn't it? The fire will be put off, or else it will be so much of fire moving here and there. Somehow, if it remains, that cannot lead to proper cooking. Like chapati on you know, in chapati you are cooking, and if the flame is low, and that tawa becomes frying pan becomes cool to some extent, then the chapati will be completely distorted. How many of you experience? So it has to be too hot also will lead to too much problem, and too much cold also will be a problem. It has to be appropriate heat level only. Then nice chapatis come out. So many factors are there. Krishna says 5 factors. Adhishtanam tatha karta, karanam cha pruthak vida. Next is vividhascha pruthak cheshta, daivam chat pancham, daiva tatra panchamuchyate, something like that. So daiva is the 5th one, but the most important one in Paramatma. He gives the right intelligence, right ingredients, everything perfect. Then things work. Adhishtanam, place also a karta, the doer, karanam, the senses, and all that. Like a nice singer, but that day somehow he ate ice cream in the night. He got tempted, and it was very cold from refrigerator, and his throat is sore now. And he's told, now please lead Mangalati. Would you please give me the chance on next Sunday? My throat is not fine. So you see, karanam, senses are also required. You may be nice singer, but if your throat is down or sore, you can't do anything. You cannot sing. So many factors are there. Karanam cha pruthak vidha, and endeavors. So all those things matter. Okay, 7th. Manuruvacha alam vatsati roshena तमोद्वारेण पाप्मना येन पुण्यजनानेतान् avadhistvang anagasah. Lord Manu said, my dear son, please stop. It is not good to become unnecessarily angry. just like I think Gaurang Prabhu said, for killing a mosquito, you don't need AK-56 rifle. Certainly, we should not kill mosquitoes, but somebody wants to kill. He doesn't need rifle for that. Rifle will kill many human beings. Mosquito is very small. So similarly, whatever offense one has done, one may become proportionately angry with him if the need be. But if he goes beyond it, it is called as disproportionate anger. Ati rosh, not just rosh. So 7 to 30, this whatever the number of shlokas are talking about, Swayambhu Manu advising Dhruva not to kill the yakshas, and in that 7 to 14, these 8 verses are why not. So why not? Because this is getting into Atirosh, which is a gate to hell, anger. So there are, if we should not have lag in our spiritual life. Lag is L for lust, A for anger, and G for greed. These 3 are dangerous. If you have lag, you will have lag in your spiritual life. Krishna says that, what he says, Trividham narakassedam dwaram nashanam atmanah kama krodha tatha lobhas tasmat etat trayam tyajet. Tasmat, therefore, etat, this 3, trayam, 3, tyajet, one should give. Into anger, and because of anger, the garland faded. So he is defeated. Similarly, another example is Indra, who we know when Krishna diverted the Indra Puja, it's all that paraphernalia, foodstuffs, and all the nice items which were meant for or prepared for Indra's worship, were diverted by Krishna to Govardhan, cows, and Brahmanaji. Indra became so angry. Okay, even if it was some offense, this kind of Samvartak clouds, which are only called during the devastation period, They should not have been called for, and he called them. And it devastated the whole Vrindavan. And even you felt, I am coming behind, I will also be adding extra effort. And he was throwing thunderbolt, etc. So this is not the way. So Indra said, my duty is to give out water, so take it. Okay, your duty is to give out water, but not so much water. Is this the way? Isn't it? This is not the way. He should give out water, but when he calls Samvarta clouds and gives out water, this is too much water. That is not a need, that leads to devastation. So this is not appropriate. Only in envy the anger becomes disproportionate. If you don't have envy, then anger is proportionate. Like Guru also should become angry on the disciple, and we also should become angry on those who offend Krishna and his devotees. But when envy is there, then it becomes disproportionate. Little bit mistake, and you show so much anger, that is because of your envy. It just requires some vent out, and the vent is given through this kind of anger. Prabhupada gives in the purport, second paragraph towards end or middle. In modern warfare, the attacks are made upon innocent citizens who are without fault. According to the law of Manu, such warfare is a most sinful activity. Furthermore, at the present moment, civilized nations are unnecessarily maintaining many slaughterhouses or killing innocent animals. When a nation is attacked by its enemies, the wholesale slaughter of the citizens should be taken as a reaction to their own sinful activities. That is nature's law. So they get, similarly here also somewhere in one of the commentaries, says that the Yakshas were supposed to be killed. Not that like Dhruva's mistake and Dhruva became disproportionately angry, and instead of killing one Yaksha who had killed Uttam, he happened to kill many. He got out of control. No, they were supposed to be killed. And when further were not to be killed, then Lord inspired Swayambhu to come and stop Dhruva. Say, no, why are you killing so many? One was to be killed, he killed so many. But then it is not something. Laws of nature are very stringent and very difficult to understand. But whoever is supposed to kill, they only got killed. But there are many lessons that Acharya have given for us to learn from this master. 8th one. Nasmatkulochitam tata karmai tat sandvikarhitam vadho yadupadesanam aradhaste akrutai My dear son, the killing of the sinless yakshas which you have undertaken is not at all approved by authorities, and it does not defeat our family, which is supposed to know the law of religion and irreligion. So punishing, punishing is required, but punishing unnecessarily is not proper. Punishing offenseless person is also not required. And punishing without reason, this is not proper. Ninth. Nanve kasyaparathena prasangat bahavo hataha prakurvadha vitaktena yanga bhakratruvarsala. My dear son, it has been proved that you are very much affectionate towards your brother and are greatly aggrieved at his being killed by the yakshas. But just consider, for one yaksha's offense, you have killed many others who are innocent. Offenseless person should not be killed. It is a fact that one yaksha killed your brother, and because the others are associated with him, you are killing many. You have seen if somebody you have envy towards and you are trying to whatever, punching, punishing or beating, and somebody else comes to save him, his friend, his mother, whatever, not mother, father or brother or whatever, then you become upset with them also. Okay, you are connected to him, so I will beat you also. So that trend is there. 10th one. Nayam margo hi sadhuna ऋषिकेशानुवर्तिनां यदात्मानं परागृह्य पशुवद्भूतवैशसम्. And this describes path of Vaishnava sadhus versus path of materialistic people. One should not accept the body as the self and thus, like the animals, kill the bodies of others. This is especially forbidden by saintly persons who follow the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, if we think ourselves to be body, naturally we will want to destroy others' bodies. So, identification is only wrong in the first place. Then all wrong things ensue from that first mistake. They say that mind is compared to an elephant who should be controlled with the goad, ankush of viveka, discrimination. Then it will lead to controlled mind. So mind should be controlled by buddhi, intelligence. Ankush. Elephant is very huge. One doesn't need a huge thing to stop him, a huge iron structure to stop that elephant. No, you just need that small iron structure called ankush. How many is in ankush? Very small. How much it is? Maximum 1 foot around. But it has a sharp pointed structure. And when it is inserted in the neck of that elephant, that fellow immediately stops. Such power is there. Similarly, bull is so huge. Bull power. We know one bull. How much they weigh? 200, 250, 300 kg. Very heavy. And horns are also there. They are restless and you cannot control them. But the bull is easily controlled by putting one rope to the nose. The nose is a very delicate part of that fellow. Body is very stout. But inside the nostril, that portion, there they put a hole, and through that they put a rope, and the rope goes in the hands of the driver. And he pulls little bit. This fellow has to stop. He may be uncontrollable fellow, but he pulls the ring, the rope, fetch. Similarly for horse also, horsepower is another famous thing. But the fellow has his big mouth. They put the thing in the mouth, the rope, and that fellow is also controlled. So you can see nose for bull, mouth for the horse, and through good, what is the name? Elephant. So that's how. So those who are devotees of the Lord, they should not be behaving wrong. Rishikeshanu Vartinam, those who follow Rishikesh, na ayam margo hi sadhana. This is not the way of devotee. So we come in nice school. It's not befitting our family. Our school is Gadadhar. Gadadhara Mora Kula. He says, Advaita Acharya Vala. Gadadhara Mora Kula. Narahari Vilase Mora. So we should know the lineage we belong to. Similarly, when we are out on the street, somebody misbehaves with us, we may become outrageous, uncontrollable. But I don't know we are representing Prabhupada. Immediately people will say, hey, this is how Swami Prabhupada was, his followers are, this is how ISKCON is. We should not forget our lineage also. So one devotee was telling that once one sadhu was sitting on the bank of a river and he was meditating. He was deep in meditation. Meanwhile, the dhobi generally used to wash his clothes on that particular stone where that day the sadhu was sitting. So the dhobi was waiting. The sadhu is meditating. Okay, after his meditation, then I will wash my clothes. That was best stone for washing clothes, and that was a daily habit also. So then some minutes passed by, more than half an hour, 1 hour. So the dhobi lost patience. Then after losing patience, he just pushed him in the water. The sadhu fell down in the water, and then he came out and said, "What nonsense!" So he started beating that dhobi, that washerman. And then washerman also started beating him then. became quite physical fight. And meanwhile, when the sadhu saw I have no match, this fellow is very stout, strong. So then he shouted loudly, "Oh Lord, please protect me." So then the sound came from the voice came from the sky. Oh, I am not clear who is sadhu between both of you. Because who is more tolerant? The one person is in the dress of a sadhu, but he was intolerant. The other person is anyway not in the dress of a sadhu, he also intolerant. So Lord was confused. How can I protect either of the two because they are intolerant? So tolerance should be there. Tolerance is a hallmark for a sadhu. How much can you tolerate? That much you are a sadhu. And that also reveals freedom from bodily resignation. Because as much as we think I am so and so, then we become intolerant. How dare of him? It's like some of you may feel, no? Some younger devotee offends you. How dare of him? I am senior devotee. How many of you felt like that? ये अंदर की बात है, लेकिन हम बाहर भी लाना चाहते हैं। लेकिन सबके अंदर की बात है, तो क्या बाहर अंदर बाहर एक के ही अंदर है या दो के ही अंदर है। अब everybody is inside. So we think, ठीक है भाई, somebody can have objection for that act of mine, but this fellow is junior, is younger. How dare of him? पता नहीं गया कितने उपकार किए मैंने. So all that happens. So one should not be conducted by false ego, very deadly, and that is we lose our sadhutva. Then how can we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam swa, madanyate na jananti, naham tebhyo managami. Sadhus are in my heart and I am in the hearts of sadhus. They don't know anyone but me and I don't know anyone but them. So if we chanting Hare Krishna is bringing Krishna in our heart. Oh Lord, please come and reside in the temple of my heart. It's temple. And you are the Lord. Just like deity installation. So deities are brought later. But first the temple is constructed. And it takes long time to construct the temple. Several years. And the deity is very small. Temple is so huge. Deity is very small. But just imagine a very posh, costly crore, millions of crores and rupees temple without deities. Who will come? Only cynic comes. They will come and they will just click photos from outside and go away. The inside temple there is no deity. So deities are small, but then they create all the beauty of the temple. So if you want to invite Krishna in the temple of our heart, we should be tolerating all these insults and all. Not so easy. Mama mana mandire raho nishiti or ao nishiti. He says, Gauranga karuna karo dina hina jane mosama patita prabhu nahi tribhuvane dante trinadhari gaura daki hai tumhare kripa kari in my mouth, Dante in my teeth, Dante Kradan Hari Gaura, Taki hai tumhara, calling out loudly, Gauranga! Taki hai tumhare, Krupa Kari, please be merciful, Krupa Kari, Eso Amar, please come in the temple of my heart, Eso Amar, Rudhaya Mandire. So if you want Krishna to be residing in our heart, so for that, we have to become sadhus. And sadhus are famous by their tolerance. Titikshava karunika surutas sarvadekna ajata shatravaha shantaha sadhavaha sadhubhushanaha. So he is a sadhu. Who is Titikshava? Is very tough. First thing only is saying tolerance. Titikshava karunika is very merciful. So we should be very merciful. How many times a person should be forgiven? 7 times. When asked by Jesus, asked to Jesus, Jesus said 7 times, 70 times. Or 90 times. But then beyond that also we should forgive. Titikshava karunika suhrudas sarvadena, always friendly to all living entities. So if you bring false ego in between saying that I am senior, you cannot be friendly to everyone. You will be friendly only to your so-called equals. And your equal terminology will change tomorrow. Initiated before your so-called equal, you will think you are senior to him. And you get second initiated or you get post position, you will think you are senior to him because he doesn't have post. Or his post is smaller than my post. I became president, he is still the manager of that temple. I am president. He is manager of MCC temple and I am the president of maybe something like Warangal temples, where there are two brahmacharis who also keep fluctuating every now and then. And congregation, I'm not condemning that temple, I go there. But like, see, false ego has all reasons to say anything and everything. So you think I'm president of a temple, whereas he is just a small manager. But then he is manager of a huge temple, and you are president of a small temple. So, but false ego will not see that. False ego will always see one's own glory only. Very deadly. So one has to become very refined Vaishnava. So that is 10th one. Nayam Margo is Sadhunam. So Vishnu Thakur says killing of living entity just as the animals do by accepting the body as the self is not the path of the devotees of Lord. The animals are on the body platform. I am hungry. I need to eat. So here is the food, prey, some deer. I pounce upon him. He is not tiger. He is lower than me. Pounce. Finish him and eat him. So like that is the animal mentality, not the sadhu's mentality. In purport, he says, if the devotees do not come under control of material affection, then certainly they should not come under the control of violence to living entities. Because of material so-called affection, the violence begins. The devotee should not be conducted by violence. 11. Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhutavasam harim bhavan Vishnustatparamam padam. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Bhakti in the Vaikuntha planets, but you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to that abode by worshipping Him as the supreme abode of all living entities. The purport towards the end Prabhupada says, since every living entity is the residence of the Supreme Lord and can be considered a temple of the Lord, the unnecessary killing of any living entity is not permitted. So one devotee was saying the soul is the pujari within the heart. How many of you are pujaris? Again, initiated devotees? All are pujaris. Some might not have entered inside. We will be pujari. But we don't have to worry or wait for second initiation to happen and to get in the altar, not no. We are all pujaris. And the soul is the pujari within the heart. Heart is the temple, Krishna is the deity, and we, the soul, is the pujari within the heart, worshipping the Lord. But sometimes he is doing something else only. We are not worshipping the Lord in our heart. We are just conducted by false ego and doing some nonsense. So that's the problem. So we are all full-time pujaris for that matter. You all know full-time pujari. Anytime, any service is ready, 24/7. Midnight, Lord, today's festival, putting the Lord to rest till 12, 12:30, 1:30 a.m. He is ready. He is full-time pujari. It meant only for that. So similarly, we are all full-time pujaris. The souls within the temple of our heart, we are the pujaris. Vishnu Thakur says, by worshipping the Lord, rarely worship as the abode of all beings, with the understanding that He is within all beings, you have achieved the supreme abode of the Lord. Purport, since you are the best of all devotees, such conduct is not befitting. 12. Sattvam harer anudhyatam tatpumsam api sammatah katham toe avadyam krutavan Manushikshan Satam Because you are devotee of the Lord is always thinking of you, and you are also recognized by all his confidential devotees. Your life is meant for exemplary behavior. I am therefore surprised. Why have you undertaken such an abominable task? So, with what they call, with the great lineage comes great responsibility. The more you are given, the more is expected of you. So, we come in nice family, good conduct is expected of us. That's why he's surprised. Expressing his surprise. The 13th. तितिक्षया करुणया मैत्र्या चाखिल जंतुषु समत्वेन च सर्वात्मा भगवान् संप्रसीदति. This verse is for a Madhyama. How many of you want to become Madhyama? No offense to anybody who is already a Madhyama. Sorry. And absolutely no offense to any Uttama Adhikari sitting. Because I am Kanishta Adhikari, I thought everybody is Kanishta Adhikari. I said, how many want to become Madhyama? So please don't take any offense. In Vrindavan Thakur Chaitanya Bhagavat, time and again he says, please do not take any offense over here. When he makes some statement, he feels that maybe somebody will feel offended. So he says, please do not take any offense. The mood is not to give offense, to offend. But in case somebody feels offended, so please do not take offense. You will find that in Chaitanya Bhagavat. The Lord is very satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship and equality. Diksha, Karuna, Maitri, friendship and equality. Samatva. 4 qualities. So we all can ask ourselves, how much I am tolerant while dealing with them? How much I am merciful with them? How much I am friendly with them? And consider them to be my equal. Purport, Vidal Prabhupada said, a preacher devotee is meant to show mercy to innocent persons whom he can elevate to devotional service. He is friend to everyone, never an enemy to anyone. We also become such preacher devotees. This is Ishvareshu tadadineshu baliseshu dvishashu cha prema maitri krupa upeksha yah karoti samadhyama. Our Madhyama behaves with 4 categories of people. Krishna is the object of his love. Towards Ishwar, praying. Tadadineshu, those who are adini, surrendered, subordinate to Krishna, the devotees. Towards them, maitri, friendship. So all devotees are our friends. Don't keep differentiating too much. Be my equal, my senior, junior. That is not required. Certainly, seniors we pay respect and we are submissive too. But they are also our friends only. My Buddha Vishnu is our friend. Surya Mataji is our friend. All our friends only. And the younger devotees are also our friends. Your counsel is also your friend only. So, in my Krupa, this Tadadineshu, Balisheshu, those who are innocent towards them, Krupa. Merciful nature, mercy. And Dvishashu, those who are envious, Upeksha, you avoid them, not that you hate them. That is not true. So if your shoe bites you, will you bite it back? Shoe is biting, my shoes are biting. So if your shoe is biting you, you will not bite back. So no, similarly somebody insults you, you don't insult him back. Said easily than done. Very easy to say. Very really insults us, that too in public. My God, how dare of him. इसकी ये हिम्मत है, इसको दिखाता हूँ मैं कौन. मराठी जैसे माझे हाथ के से केळे खायला गेलेले आहेत. My hands are not engaged in eating bananas, which are very soft. Banana peeling and eating is not a big thing. Because very soft fruit and chilka also is very easy. When it is ripe, you are going to eat ripe banana. So my hands are not engaged in some delicate soft work. I can beat him up also. You understand? Not understand. Keshav Kumar was such a sadhu. After my such a long purport also he has difficulty. He is not understanding. Good that you are not understanding. You see me again and you will understand what asadu means. Actually keeps away also from 201 and 203. In between 202. Protecting me. It is 13th. Here Vishnu Thakur says the Supreme Lord, the soul of all beings, is pleased when a devotee is tolerant of superiors. Yeah, tolerant of superiors also. Merciful to inferiors, friendly towards equals, and takes others' happiness and distress as his own. Purport. This describes the conduct of the devotee. One should be tolerant of the great, tolerant of the great, merciful to the inferior, and friendly towards those of equal status. One should think of others' joy and sorrow, hunger and thirst as one's own. If somebody is hungry, give him some food. Somebody thirsty, give him water. And consider others' joys and sorrows to be your own. If we are impersonal, we are envious, then we say hell with everyone. Everybody should be happy in my joys, then everybody should be miserable in my sorrows. So one should not be like that. So, His Holiness Radha Maharaj says Krishna consciousness means to take oneself out of center and to put Krishna there. So we don't put Krishna there, we don't put Vaishnava there, we don't put others there. Others' happiness is my happiness. Others' sorrow is my sorrow. Like that one should be leading one's life. Not that one so much swayed by one's happiness and distress and one thinks everybody should be happy when I am happy, everybody should be miserable when I am miserable. No. It should not be like that. A lot of penetration is required in Krishna consciousness. One has to go very deep, Bhakti Rasamrita. One remains on the superficial level. One will be happy if you are getting 4 or 5 fishes, small fishes. I am happy. I put a net and I got 4 or 5 fishes. Happy. But when you dive deep in the ocean, one will get very precious stones, pearls, like that. So one has to be very strong in bhakti, very tolerant. Greatness of a person has to be estimated by the ability to tolerate provoking situations. But provoking situations is difficult. Provoking persons, and more than provoking persons, provoking devotees. The persons are also out there. They hardly go out and they hardly come in the ashram. Around us are devotees. So how much can you tolerate? That much sadhu you are. Just by shaving head, wearing dhoti kurta, we don't become sadhus. Sadhu is by tolerance. How much can you tolerate? And tolerance comes by having Krishna, who is most tolerant in our heart. He is there as Paramatma, that is not Krishna, that is manifestation, localized aspect. But when we hear Krishna Katha, then Krishna enters in our heart. Shrunata Shraddhaya Nittam Ashuddhata Swata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasthaya Mitra Avadrani Vidunoti Sarasatam. Krishna, Paramatma will never purify our heart. He will never clean our heart. He will only give Matta Smriti Jnanam Apam. Only 3 things. Knowledge, forgetfulness and remembrance. That's it. Only 3 things for Paramatma. He will not do purifying your heart. That only Krishna does. Sumata Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. When we hear Krishna Katha, Krishna enters in our heart and Vidunoti Surut Satam. He cleanses the heart. Krishna, not Paramatma. This Vishnu Thakur says. What is that before that? Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasthaya Mitra. Those anathas which are deep within, situated in our heart. Krishna, when we hear Katha or Harinam also when we hear, he will cleanse our heart. So we should allow Krishna to cleanse our heart and take the royal throne of that Mandir, and then he will give us that tolerance. That we will not perceive also. Who says what? We will be oblivious to all what is being said about us. It does not matter because you are beyond perceiving. It does not matter. So 14th one we will see. संप्रसन्ने भगवती पुरुषः प्राकृतैर्गुणैः विमुक्तो जीवनिर्मुक्तो ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं दृश्यति. One who actually satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead during one's lifetime becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material conditions. Thus, being freed from all material modes of nature, he achieves ultimate spiritual bliss. Purport first paragraph end. To become free from material existence means to become free from the influence of material nature. And she is consisting of modes. One should become free from sattva, rajagun, and tamogun. That's why we should regularly read Srimad Bhagavatam and hear from person Bhagavats. Ashtabhayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seva. Otherwise, we will not be freed from clutches of material nature. Second paragraph, a person should act in such a way that the Lord is satisfied by the activity. It is not that he himself is to be satisfied. So that's what Krishna consciousness is to give Krishna, not ourselves. Srila Vishwanath Thakur says, when the Lord is satisfied, a person becomes free from the gunas of Prakriti. He is free from the subtle body and attains the Lord. Jiva Nirmukta means free from the subtle body. If one is Jnani, then he attains merging in Brahman. If he is a devotee, he attains service to the Lord. It is understood from Prahlad's statement. So why that direct contact with the Lord improves the happiness of Brahman, destroys samsara for the sinful persons possessing material bodies in this world. Therefore, worship the Paramatma in me. Prakrutair gunai vimukta means that not only is he free from the gunas of Prakriti, but he is specially liberated, vimukta, beyond merging in Brahman. Mukti is merging in Brahman, but vimukti is going beyond Brahman Jyoti, going to Vaikuntha. 15 to 24 is trying to convince by speaking about the nature of the things. That we will see after the break. We have 10 minutes break. Any question before we break? I will not ask my question. Any question? After announcing break, action will be conducted by pure Shuddha Sattva, Ati Shuddha Sattva. So, I cannot ask question. It's dangerous to ask a question after announcing the break. Okay, we will meet after 10 minutes. Hare Krishna. 15. भूतहि पंचभिरारब्धे योषित पुरुष एव हि तयोर्विवायात् सम्भुतिर् योषित पुरुषयोरिह. The creation of the material world begins with the 5 elements, and thus everything, including the body of a man or a woman, is created of these elements. By the sexual life of man and woman, the number of men and women in this material world is further increased. He is studying the nature of the material things. These are 10 verses, I think. 10 verses then consider the nature of things. Who is the killer and who is being killed? By bodies arabdhai, made of the 5 elements, women and men appears. By their interaction, more men and women appear. 16. Evam pravartate sargaha sthitihi sayyama evacha guna vyatikarat rajan mayaya paramatmanaha. Continued, my dear King Dhruva, it is simply by the illusory material energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and by the interaction of the 3 modes of material nature that creation, maintenance and annihilation take place. In the middle of the purport process, we can see that those who are situated in the mode of goodness live longer than those who are situated in the Tamoguna or Rajagun. Tamaguni people will be taking intoxicants like liquor and all. It will spoil the liver. So to smoke, I think lungs get destroyed and people die early. Similarly, Rajoguni people also may work hard and may get into something deadly. They also will die early. But people in the mode of goodness remain alive for a long time. Urvam gacchante satvastha. Not only long life on this planet Earth, they go to heavens and there they have thousands of years of life. Vishnu Thakur says, just as the creation takes place by the elements in the form of bodies, so by mother and father made of the elements, maintenance takes place. And by bodies of criminals, tigers and snakes, destruction takes place. So men, women, father, mother, they kind of give life, whereas these criminals, tigers, snakes, they destroy life. So Lord has complete arrangement. According to Satvaguna, people will get life. Rajasic, Tamasic people will take life. 17th. Nimittamatram tatrasin nirgunah purusharashabah vyaktavyaktat idam vishwam yatra bhramati lohavat. My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. He is the remote cause of the creation of this material cosmic manifestation. When He gives the impetus, many other causes and effects are produced, and thus the whole universe moves, just as iron moves by the integrated force of a magnet. In childhood, how many of you played keeping iron files on paper and below moving the magnet? We have good experience. It looks very nice. They dance kind of because what you call that magnetic force is aligned within them. So nice play for hours keep playing. So likewise the Lord gives impetus and many other causes, effects and all things are produced. The whole world goes on. In the middle of the first paragraph he says, or little, the original cause is the potter who sets a force on the wheel. You know the potter's wheel also. On that he keeps the mud which he has processed. Dry mud, in that he puts dry soil, then he puts water, makes it soft. Just like we make wheat flour, atta, before making chapatis. That is dry one. Put water, nicely, what you call, kneading. Then it becomes soft into a lump. And then some part of it we may use for making those rollers. Similarly, he puts the soil, soft soil, on the pot and gives it motion. The wheel is moving, the earth, soft earth is also moving, and he puts one hand outside and one inside. And nicely gives shape, whatever shape you want, and it is a very nice structure. And he gently takes it out and puts it for drying. So same way, Lord is also the Kumhar, the potter, and he makes the creation. Afterwards he may destroy also these pots, but he makes it. So the pot is the creation of the Lord, and potter is the Lord himself. And the giant wheel of material nature is there, in which he creates through material nature. Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya, Sadhana, Shakti, Reka, Chayo, Yasya, Gona, Vibharti, Reka. So he makes it. And time is like that stick. In time, things are created. And in time, things are destroyed also. One devotee said that anger is called temporary madness. It's madness only, but for a short while. Those who are all the time mad, they are different. But otherwise. Chakratipa says, the Lord beyond the gunas is the indirect cause within whom this universe of cause and effect moves just as a magnet moves iron. In purport, how can creation, maintenance, and destruction of bodies take place without some foundation of consciousness? Since the Lord is the indirect cause, nimitta matram, this material universe with cause and effect moves as if conscious through the bodies of devatas and men, just as with a magnet as the indirect cause, iron moves about as if having life. So there is no magnetic force in the iron, but it is there in the magnet. So that magnet is the real thing. So his indirect cause doesn't appear here, it is below the paper. So the iron and something. 18th. सकलविदं भगवान् कालशक्त्या गुणप्रवाहेण विविक्तवीर्यः करोति अकर्तैव निहन्ति हन्ताः चेष्टाविगुणः खलु दुर्विभाव्यः. The Supreme Personal Godhead, by the supreme energy, time, causes the interaction of the three modes of material nature, and thus varieties of energy become manifest. It appears that he is acting, but he is not the actor. He is killing, but he is not the killer. Thus, it is understood that only by his inconceivable power is everything happening. So Lord's creation is amazing. He has this banyan tree and it has very small seeds. Very small. How small? Anybody has seen? Smaller than mustard seeds? Yeah. So mustard seeds themselves are very small. And these ones, banyan trees, so seeds are even smaller than that. But if you sow it, initially maybe fragile plant comes, but eventually it becomes a robust tree. Very huge, powerful. Our consciousness should be very Krishna conscious. We go to holy places for having increased Shravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam. But if we go to holy place and our Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam is not happening, then it is considered useless. When we go to Holy Dham, we should ask what is our consciousness? Is it right consciousness? That gets set right by hearing there, chanting. And what do we do over there matters. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam should be there. You should experience a change in you, should not remain the same after coming back. Chakravarti says, the agitation of the gunas is through time, and the Lord acting as the jivas entering into mind, separate from himself, agitation of gunas through time, acts and does not act. He kills and does not kill. The actions of the Lord are inconceivable. The Lord is the material cause, upadan karan, and the indirect cause, nimitta karan, since he is non-different from his energies of the gunas, time and the jiva. So the ingredients are also given by the Lord and jivas are also there. So everywhere Lord only is in picture. 19th. Sonanto antakaraha Sonanto antakaraha kalo Anadir adikrut avyayah Janam janena janayan Marayan mrutyunantakam. My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personal Godhead is ever existing, but in the form of time, he is the killer of everything. He has no beginning, although he is the beginning of everything. Nor is he ever exhaustible, although everything is exhausted in due course of time. The living entities are created through the agency of the Father and killed through the agency of death, but he is perpetually free of birth and death. I am, the destroyer of all the three worlds. आलोचनी लोकशाहीकृत प्रवृत्त. Prabhupada in the purport gives the example of Hitler and Bonaparte, how they killed so many people in war. Year after year, many books are published for public reading regarding Hitler's killing thousands of Jews in confinement. But no one is researching who killed Hitler and who created such a gigantic killer of human beings. The devotees of the Lord are not much interested in the study of the flickering history of the world. Are we? Are we those devotees who are not? Or we take great pleasure in the internet, seeing what happened, what is happening. We should be oblivious. For preaching a little bit we may know, otherwise, who is the Prime Minister, what's happening in the world. This will go on. Hitler killed so many people. Now also wars are going on many places in the world. And so many are getting killed, so many are born also. But Imam Nawabdin Aktare Sa Atma. Even if those who are living, they are killers of themselves because they are not using the solid boat of human body to cross this ocean of birth and death. As time he is without destruction but causes destruction, and he is without birth but causes birth, he is inexhaustible. He produces people by means of people and destroys Yama by Kalagni Rudra. Anybody has heard? Kalagni Rudra destroys Yama. Time in one sense. Even for that matter, Brahma also is destroyed by time. Sahasrayuga Pariyantam Aharyad Brahmano Viduhu Ratriyuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratruvido Janaha. After 100 years of his life over 311 trillion, 40 billion years later, even Brahma dies. Not to speak of Yama and others. So this creation, maintenance, destruction goes on and on and on. One need not worry about it too much. Rather, how to help people perfect their lives is more important than how many are created, how many are destroyed. This will go on. It is perpetual cycle. Nobody can stop it.
In further section, we have read something about Rudra Bhaya, that one Rudra is fearful of another Rudra. There Prabhupada writes like that. So, what is the difference? Lord Shiva is Rudra. The 11 Rudras. Can you something?
I also don't know so much. But they are all associates. But details I don't know. They say 11th Rudra is Hanumanji. And here he is saying Yama also is destroyed by Kalagni Rudra. One of the names of 11 Rudras could be Kalagni Rudra. But I don't know details. They will be there in some Puranas. Like today morning, Buddhageshwar was telling that Maya divided into 7 parts. One of them Brahmadra, which Brahmaji accepted in commentary. All that. So like that, Puranas talk about lot of details. So when you read that in Prabhupada's purport, so Prabhupada must have taken from some Purana, or else shortcut is Acharyas have commented. Prabhupada referred to those 10 commentaries. One of the Acharyas might have mentioned it. From there he might have taken. Otherwise, it will be there in some Purana.
Lord Shiva's relationship with this Rudras.
He only expands, their expansions, they are, as far as I know, they are Jiva Tattvas and they are at the time of destruction. 5th canto they are shown, or 11 Rudras. They are destroyed. That's what I have heard. But sometimes other way also we hear. Some say this is Shambhu Tattva. I had heard, if I am not wrong, once that Sadashiva in Vaikuntha world is Vishnu Tattva. And Shiva is Shambhu Tattva. And these Rudras are Jiva Tattva. But I am not sure. Just heard. 28. न वै स्वपक्षस्य विपक्ष एव वा परस्य मृत्योर्विशतः समं प्रजः तं धावमानम् अनुधावन्ति अनिशा यथा रजांस्य निलम्भुतसङ्गः. The Supreme Person of Godhead in his feature of eternal time is present in the material world and is neutral towards everyone. No one is his ally and no one is his enemy. Within the jurisdiction of the time element, everyone enjoys or suffers the result of his own karma of relative activities. As when the wind blows, small particles of dust fly in the air, so according to one's particular karma, one suffers or enjoys material. So the intelligence is in surrendering to the Lord. Then all the karma cycle is cut. Krishna says that namam karmani limpati name karma phale spruha iti mamyo abhijanati karma bhir na sambadyate. Not only are his birth and activities divine, janma karma janma, but who understand that no karma can ever engulf me or I cannot be touched by karmic reaction because they are not forced actions according to the earlier association of the modes, but Krishna is completely independent. So he is Lila Purushottam. He has the freedom. He performs Lila pastime, not karma. So namam karmani limbat. So all these activities are pastime and they are not material karma, thereby not resulting into karmic reactions. So one who knows iti mamyo abhijanati, one who knows me like this, karma bhir sabadyate. He also is not bound by the karmic cycle. So one should surrender to Krishna, that is intelligence. That is the perfection of all the activities. They said that Ravan cut off his 10 heads in front of Shiva and got his Lanka. But that very Lanka was obtained by Vibhishan by just bending his head once in front of Lord Rama. No need of cutting head, offering at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. And next head, 10 heads, not required. It's a very gruesome, very ugly kind of dangerous austerity or whatever, sacrifice. Just bend the head in front of the Lord. Sometimes you might have seen that movie or cartoon they show. That one person, maybe Muslim, he pays obeisances to Lord Allah. And one plane was coming, charter plane or something, helicopter, charter plane. It's coming. And in the way it is taking off slightly, it will cut off his head only. And exactly he has closed eyes and he just bends. There you know. Out of the 9 processes of devotional service in Islam, Vandanam is most prominent. Namaz. 5 times a day. So Vandanam is very good. So he bows down. The charter plane goes above his head. Few days back, Mohammed Guru gave Vaibhav, that's devotee while chanting in the local train of Bombay. There was bomb blast, exactly that time. And all those, what they call? Radiation? What is it? So particles come out, radiations, nails, sharp nails. So they were thrown out, but because he was chanting, I mean, by chanting, so all those nails went above his head. Others got injured, but he was protected. That doesn't mean that we should sleep in Japan. He was telling, while sleeping in Japan, he was saved from such calamity. Imagine if he is awake and if he chants, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Then he will not just escape those nails, but he will escape a trident of Maya. Adhyatmic adi bhautik adi there exists. So you throw, but then you chant and you get elevated. You will escape. The glorious devotional. So in this 28th, he says, the Lord has no friend or enemy. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyasti na priyaha ye vajanti tumam bhaktya maitu teshu chapya. No friend, no enemy. He enters all beings as death equally. The jivas dependent on karma and associated matter follow the Lord as he moves along, just like particles of dust follow the currents of the air. In purport he says, though the Lord acts in this way, he cannot be accused of injustice since he does not show favorites. Everybody is filled by the Lord. Though he is equal, there is difference in the results for the jivas because their karmas are not. 21st. Ayusho apachayam jantos tathaivoपचयं विभुः उपाभ्यां रहितः स्वस्थो दुस्थस्य विदधात्यसौ. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, is all powerful and he awards the results of one's spiritual activities. Thus, although one living entity's duration of life is very small, but that of another is very great, he is always in his transcendental position. And there is no question of lessening or increasing his duration of life. The Lord duration of life is same. Our lifespan will increase, decrease based on how we lead our life. One devotee was saying that there are 3 types of cultures in the Ram Leela. One is Ayodhya, where only Lord Ram's pleasure is in forefront, always. Kishkinda, Lord Ram only till getting kingdom from Vali. It is Kishkinda. Till then Lord Ram. And Lanka, nothing belongs to God, everything is for our enjoyment. All 3 are cultures, all 3 are lifestyles, but they are completely different. Ayodhya, Lord Ram always, Lanka, no question of Lord Ram, we are the enjoyers. And Kishkinda, Lord Dev, you get kingdom from God. 20. He says flies have short life and devatas have long life. All depending on the karma. 22nd. Kechit karma vadantyena svabhavam apare nrupa eki kalam pare daivam pumsaha kama mamsapare. The differentiation among varieties of life and their suffering and enjoyment is explained by some to be the result of karma. Others say it is due to nature, others due to time, others due to fate, and still others say that it is due to desire. That means varieties of philosophies, Sundarshyam, 6 philosophies, Mimamsakas, atheists, astronomers, sexualists, and so many other classifications of mental spiritualists. All varieties of philosophies are there. They are basically expansions of the 6 only. Everybody has conducted by some philosophy, but it is not necessarily proper philosophy. It's mental concoction. So that the 6 are prominent and all others are varieties, shades in those 6 only. In the second paragraph, middle Prabhupada writes, Srila Narottam Das Thakur therefore advises that one turn his desire towards serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then desire becomes purified. So Dhritarashtra we know 50 lifetimes back, he was a hunter with Gandhari as his wife, they were hunters, and he happened to burn one nest of a bird by which the mother bird got blinded and 100 baby birds burnt alive. As a result, he was also born blind, and he had 100 sons who were all killed. Karma for. And 50 lifetimes it took. That was 50 lifetimes, right? 50 lifetimes of pious activities by which he accrued enough pious results by which he could be born as a human being in a nice family. But because of that sinful act of mother getting blinded, he was born blind, and because of burning the 100 baby birds alive, he also lost his 100 children. So 50 lifetimes to accumulate that wealth, and then he paid back by losing 100 sons and eyes also. Last lines of the paragraph. We are drawn into this material world by desire, but the same desire must be purified and employed in the devotional service. Then our disease of wandering in the universe under different forms and conditions will end. Chakravarti talks philosophically. Let karma be the cause of happiness and distress, birth and death. True, but philosophers argue about this. Some lokayatas, followers of Charvaka, say that it is nature of matter itself. Others, the Vyavaharikas, followers of the Puranas, say it is time. Astrologers say it is the Devatas in the form of planets, Daivam. Others like Vatsyayana say it is lust. Shruti says Kamo akarshit kama karoti kama karta kama kareta. Lust has done it, lust is doing it, lust is the doer, lust causes us to act. This is from Mahanarayana. So different people say different things. 23rd. अव्यक्तस्य प्रमेयस्य नानाशक्तिम् उदयस्य च नवैचिकीर्षितं तात ओ वेदाथ स्वसंभवम्. The absolute truth, transcendence, is never subject to the understanding of imperfect sensory endeavor, nor is he subject to direct experience. He is the master of varieties of energies like the full material energy, and no one can understand him, his plans or actions. Therefore, it should be concluded that although he is the original cause of consciousness, no one can know him by mental speculation. So he says that all philosophy. So knowing the branches and other parts of a tree is like jnana yoga. It is not sufficient. Just knowing some in bits and pieces. One should know the complete tree, the Supreme Lord, who has these different parts in his creation. Chakravarti says, who among these disputants establishes the truth? No one, since they are all ignorant of the root cause of everything. So, the root of the tree is only not known, different parts are known. Somebody focuses on plant, somebody focuses on branches, somebody focuses on fruit, somebody focuses on flowers. And so this is tree, but that is not complete understanding. The root is the Lord, that is not known. So the philosophy speak many things. What is the nature of the Supreme? What is the nature of the soul? The relationship between soul, material nature and super soul. What is the process? And what will be the realization after attaining the soul? Okay, 24. न चैते पुत्रक भ्रातुम् अन्तारो धनदानुगः विसर्गादानयोस्तात पुंसो दैवं हि कारणम्. My dear son, those yakshas who are descendants of Kuvera are not actually the killers of your brother. The birth and death of every living entity are caused by the Supreme, who is certainly the cause of all causes. स एव विश्वं सृजति स एवावति हन्ति च अथापि ह्यनहङ्कारा नाच्यते गुणकर्मभिः. The Supreme Personality of Godhead creates this material world, maintains it and annihilates it in due course of time, But because he is transcendental to such activities, he is never affected by ego in such action or by the modes of material nature. Very philosophical concept. 26. एष भूतानि भूतात्मा भूतेषु भूतभावनः स्वशक्त्या मायया युक्तः सृजत्यर्ति च पाति च. The Supreme Person of Godhead is the super soul of all living entities. He is the controller and maintainer of everyone. Through the agency of his external energy, he creates, maintains and annihilates everyone. He does this through his Maya Shakti, Swashaktya Mayaya Yukta. Our creation, maintenance and destruction and still not be attached because he manages using Maya Shakti and not Swarup Shakti. So he does not undergo material identity of Ahankar in performing actions. He has many energies. He is in one place, but his energies are everywhere. Prabhupada quotes quite often that Eka Deshe Sthitasyagni Jyotsna Vistarinetah Parasya Brahmani Shaktir Tadevam Akhilam Jagat. Just like if you this room hall in the night all dark, but if you just ignite one candle in this corner, the light will go all over the room. Candle is in that place, one corner, but the light is all over the hall. The Lord is in one place, but his energies are spread all throughout the creation. And Krishna speaks many verses in Bhagavad Gita that Mastani Sarva Bhutani Nachaham Teshu Avasthitam. What is it? Maya Tatam Idam Sarvam Jagat Avyakta Murtina Mastani Sarva Bhutani Nachaham Teshu Avasthitam. By me, through my energies, I am spread everywhere. All living beings are in me, but I am not in them. In several verses, technical verses. Natyamasthani, Yathakasha Sito Nityam, Vayu Sarvatra, Gomaha. So sky is limited and is fixed, but the Vayu within goes everywhere. Tatha Sarvani Bhutani. And you know, last line 9.6 maybe, just check. Did you get? Did not get? Vayu Sarvatra Gomahan Bhutani Mastani iti upadara. Meaning?
Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere, rests always in the sky, all creative beings rest in it.
So the sky is fixed and the mighty wind blows all over within it. So Lord is fixed, but all living entities are within him, within his creation, and they are moving and appearing to perform so many things. Now the last section is 27 to 35, which is give up anger and anger unto the Lord. So Vaibhav is asking. 27. Tameva mrutyum amrutam tatadaivam sarvatmano mehi jagatparayanam yasmai balim vishvashrucho haranti bhavo yatha vai nasidamayantritaha you have got cough na bro? You remind me after the class. You have to take jaggery and turmeric, mix it half, and make a homogeneous mix. You can offer to Krishna and keep it on your tongue and just suck it. Don't chew upon it, don't gulp it down. Suck it, the juice will go and you might leave. After the class, maybe I will make for you. And it's very effective. But don't forget to do that, you're coughing a lot. That is translation to his coughing. Translation to this verse is, my dear boy Dhruva, please surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate goal of the progress of the world. Everyone, including the demigods headed by Lord Brahma, is working under his control, just as a bull prompted by a rope in its nose, controlled by its owner. So here that similar example has come. Gavo yatha vai nasi dama yantrita. Gavo, the bull, yatha, just like indeed vai nasi, through the nostril, nose. Dama yantrita, through the rope is controlled. So Lord is also controlling everyone, including even demigods like Brahma. Such powerful demigods. Everybody is within the jurisdiction of the Lord. The material disease is to declare independence from the supreme controller. So this is our difficulty and disease, that we think I am independent. I don't depend on anything. Just like when we were kids, we were completely dependent on mother and father, more so maybe mother, who was all the time keeping us in her arms. And yes, it was needed. But as we grow into children or whatever, teens, then we don't want that kind of. Then we say, not required. I am not a milk drinking boy. Doodh pita bachcha nahi hu main. Now I am grown up. I know how to take care of myself. You don't worry. Because mother will be, because she has taken care of us from childhood, she will say, okay, where are you going? What about your tiffin? So many, like, the boy considers it to be interference. What is this? I am not a kid. I have my intelligence now. I know how to take care of myself. Mind your own business. Don't interfere in my affairs. That kind of mood is there. Independence, like that. So that is material disease for in spiritual life. This is how our nature has been in material life. The same thing may be brought in spiritual life, and we may think, I don't need my seniors now. Are come on, when I was a boy in first year in hostel and college, that time you took MMC and even RC. That is okay. Now I am a preacher, delivering what? Burla? Or what? That Jabalpur. जबरदस्त पुर है वो, जहाँ जबरदस्त भक्त है जबलपुर में. गोवा, माय गॉड, द स्विट्जरलैंड ऑफ इंडिया. गोवा, जो वहाँ गया वो कभी वापस नहीं आया. जावा and never come back, but he came back. But like that. So we may think I am delivering, I don't need anybody to guide me now. So this independence is not good. One's progress gets stunted the moment we declare ourselves independent of even Guru and Vaishnavas. So one should never declare. When Prabhupada was told on a particular day that today is the Independence Day of America, some 200 years back, America got independent. Prabhupada said, oh, today is Independence Day. The real independence is to declare one's dependence on Krishna. That famous statement on the Independence Day of America. So America, we are independent now. They say on their currency note, in God we trust. But actually they did not trust. All their modern inventions, technological advancement, and we will make everything within our fist. Everything will be controlled by us. Sab kuch meri mutti mein hai. We don't need any God and all that. So this is not good. Then so many problems come. So when God was removed from family life, divorce. When God was removed from personal life, then suicide. Lord was removed from countries, then wars. Anywhere you remove God from will lead to disaster, most deadly disaster. You remove God from life, from social life, then all the crimes, like that. The material disease is to declare independence from the supreme controller. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, O son, surrender to the Lord who is birth and death, the refuge of the world, with your whole being. Unto him the Devatas offer homage, like bulls controlled by the rope ties to their noses. Tied to their noses. In purport he said, though I have been enlightened by you, I cannot give up my ego. 4 verses answer. Surrender to him. Without surrender, it is difficult to give up ego by Gyan alone. So 4 verses, maybe 27, 28, 29, 30. Around 4 verses. 28. Yah panchavarsho jananim tvam vihaya matuhu sapatnya vachasa bhinna marma vanam gatas tapasa pratyagachan vaksham आराध्यलेभे मूर्ध्निपदं त्रिलोक्यः. My dear Dhruva, at the age of only 5 years, you were very grievously afflicted by the words of your mother's co-wife, and you very boldly gave up the protection of your mother and went to the forest to engage in the yogic process for realization of the Supreme Person of Godhead. As a result of this, you have already achieved the topmost position in all the 3 worlds. He is reminding him. Purport. Manu was very proud that Dhruva Maharaj was one of the descendants in his family, because at the age of only 5 years, Dhruva began meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and within 6 months, he was able to see the Supreme Lord face to face. So this is great. So as such, we all are descendants of Manu only. So we should make him more and feel more and more proud by ourselves also achieving the Lord. If not at the age of 5, maybe at the age of 50. Earlier the better. We are also Dhruva Maharaj descendants. Same family. Continue. 29th. तमेन मंगात्मनि मुक्त विग्रहे व्यपाश्रितं निर्गुणमैकमक्षरम् आत्मानमन्विच्छ विमुक्तमात्मदृक् यस्मिन्निदं भेदमसत्प्रीति यत् प्रतीयते. My dear Dhruva, please therefore turn your attention to the Supreme Person, who is the infallible Brahman. Face the Supreme Person of Godhead in your original position, and thus, by self-realization, you will find this material differentiation to be merely flickering. Purport Prabhupada says, when living entities, therefore, are viewed in the bodily concept of life, one appears to be different from another. One appears to be different from another. Lord Manu wanted to change the vision of Dhruva Maharaj, who was looking upon the yakshas as different from him or his enemies. In 4.35, Krishna says that. 4.34 he says, you surrendered to pure devotee spiritual master through submission, inquiry and service. And they will impart knowledge because they have seen the truth. And by that knowledge imparted that you have received, you will be able to see all living beings are in me. They are mine. They are my parts and parcels. That is 4.35. So nobody is separate from the Lord. All are ours only. There is no when there is short-sightedness, bodily concept of life, then one differentiate. He is mine and he belongs to him. That what he says. Ayam nijaha paravetti ganana lagu chetasam Udaracharitanam tu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I am Nija, he is mine, Parovete, and he is somebody else's. He is my brother and he is your brother. She is my sister, she is your sister. So differentiating. I am Nija Paroveti Ganana Laguchetasam. Those who are short-sighted, small-minded, they have that kind of consideration. Udara Charitanam too, but those who are broad-minded, for them, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole earth is only their family. So everybody is my family man only. Nobody is outsider. That's why through preaching activities we can get this realization. You distribute books more and more. Then you interact with so many people. And then he is mine only, he is our brother only. Yesterday the way Mataji was speaking, Her Grace, Surabhi Mataji. So people very much appreciate and say, hey Surabhi, you gave me the book the other day, or a month back. I'm relishing it. Thank you. You are my best friend. So like, no, she is so elderly. But even a young man could say that you are my best friend. Preachers are the best friends to all living entities, book distributors. So we should become preachers. Towards the end of the purport, he says, indirectly Manu pointed out to Dhruva Maharaj that out of material affection, Dhruva thought of his brother as his king and the yakshas as his enemies. Such observation of differentiation subsides as soon as one is situated in his original position as an eternal servant of the Lord. So for as brahmacharis, we should be able to see that. Because our parents, our relatives, so many brothers, sisters, especially coming from Indian families. But as you join, then you don't stay with them. Not so much. Sometimes they may call, but not much maybe. How many of you are seeing that your relatives are not so much calling you? Like my brothers and sisters, hardly anybody calls. Almost nobody calls. And how many of you are seeing that your batchmates from your degree time, nobody is calling? No. They are not concerned. Very Sundarshyam Das, our friend 25 years back. They are staying together for 4 years. Not least bothered. They are not bothered only. Least bothered is also somewhat bothered. Least bothered, but this is not bothered only. They don't know. They don't want to know. They are in their own world. All that. You might. How many have seen Gaurang Prabhu's that 25 years of silver jubilee celebration of passing out in IIT Bombay? Their batchmates. What? Mechanical engineering? Whichever branch. Metallurgy. So metallurgy. How many of you saw that photo? Only 3 of us saw. So you can see everybody is given T-shirt. I think sky blue or gray color. Yeah. So our girls also. His batch. Some of the batchmates, classmates were girls. So girls are wearing that grey T-shirt, and only one person in the middle is Gaurang Prabhu, saffron, shaved head. Already are shaved by material nature. Others, some of them are already, because they must be around 50 years old. They are shaved by material nature automatically. They are baldies and all that. And Gaurang Prabhu has voluntarily removed the hair. And he is looking the youngest among them all. They look quite old, including the girls, but he looks quite young. So 25 years, they had get together and they must have called for that function. What they call? Get together? Reunion. Okay, reunion. Alumni's meet. But this is only after silver jubilee basically. So they passed out in 93, na? So 93 plus 25? 3, 13, 18. 2018 maybe, just before COVID, they had that get together. And the photo was, I have got that photo I think. So that time they might have, hey, what are you at? First impression might have been, hey, this fellow is wasting his life. But after they might have come to know, no, he is traveling also internationally. He's a big figure in International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He's a big manager, and he's the GBC. That GBC became later, I think. That time he was not GBC. But GDO he was, Global Deputy Officer, and things like that. So, whatever. So, nobody is interested in you. So, we should also not be short-sighted thinking, my brother, my sister. I interact with preachers more, they are my brothers. Navji Nityam Prabhu, Subal Priya Prabhu, Raja Krishna Prabhu, Achyut Mohan Prabhu. With these preachers, interactions are more than our brother also. Our brother is only sometimes once in a while. That also we know call comes means something. So we should feel pleasure that we are in Krishna's family now, not our so-called family lineage. Krishnera samsara kari chhadiya nachar jibe doya Krishna nam sarva dharma sar nadiya godru me nitya nanda mahajan. So Krishna is Supreme Father and our Guru. Prabhupada is our grandfather. We have our Guru as our father, all other Gurus are our uncles. And we have thousands and millions and billions of God brothers and God sisters. All ISKCON family. It's a huge family. So we are blessed. Initial days after joining, there may be some kind of identification. But years later, 10 years later, 15 years, 20, 25, 30, all your relatives would be dead and gone also. Like on my birthday, one of my cousin sisters said happy birthday like that. So I wrote back that the parents who gave birth, whom I should be grateful to, they are no more. So what is the meaning to this birthday? She might have been shocked. This is a very philosophical celebration of birthday. Like parents gave birth to this body, so we should say thank you on our birthday to parents. Thank you, father. Thank you, mother. But both are gone. So them we cannot say thank you, and others are saying happy birthday. So years later it doesn't matter. They will not be there. Okay. So 30th. 29. 30th. Tvam pratyagatmani tada bhagavatyananta आनंदमात्र उपपन्न समस्त शक्तो भक्तिं विधाय परमां शनकैर अविद्या ग्रंथिं बिभेत्स्यति ससि ममाहमिति प्ररूढ़म्. Thus regaining your natural position and rendering service unto the Supreme Lord, who is the all-powerful reservoir of all pleasure and who lives in all living entities as the super soul, you will very soon forget the illusory understanding of I and mine. How? By rendering service to the Lord. Bhaktim vidhaya. In the purport, third line also, he said the whole material world is working on the basis of I and mine. This is root of attraction to the material world. Aham mama. पुंसास्त्रिया मिथुनि भावमेतं तयोर मिथो हृदय ग्रंथि माहो अथ ग्रह क्षेत्र सुताप्तवित्तेर जनस्य मोहोयम aham mameti. Aham and mama. This overpowers a man who unites with a woman in sexual intercourse. Pumsaha striya mithuni bhavametam tayar mitho hridaya granthi bhava. And through sexual act, their what you call affectionate ties are all the more tightened, like a hard knot. Then graha kshetra sutapta vitter, and after this then follow, they have need house, they have children, they have relatives, wealth required, filled. Graha kshetra sutapta vitter janasya mohoyam, the person gets completely bewildered and he gets stuck in aham mameti. I am man, she is my wife, and this is our house, these are our children, this is the money, and this is my car. And completely gets stuck. So that's why even Grihasthas in ISKCON are supposed to not have their own independent family life. But it is Krishnera samsara. Then everything is Krishna's. My wife is Krishna Dasi. I am Krishna Das. She is provided to me as an assistant. Not that she is mine. She is Krishna's. Krishna has offered me for his service. Then 31st. Samyascha rosham bhadram te pratipam shreyasam param shrutena bhuyasa rajan agadena yathamayam. My dear king, just consider what I have said to you, which will act as medicinal treatment upon disease. Control your anger, for anger is the foremost enemy on the path of spiritual realization. I wish all good fortune for you. Please follow my instructions. Foremost is saying. Pratipam is enemy. Shreyasam of all goodness. Param, the foremost. Param Pratipam, foremost enemy, anger. Rosham, anger should be controlled. In purport, Prabhupada says, anger is such that if one increases it, it increases unlimitedly. Haribol, be careful. And when we, before committing offense to any Vaishnava, we are angry upon that Vaishnava, for whatever reason. How can he say like this about me? How did he look like this? Why did he look at me like this? And n number of such imaginations. So be careful. If we increase the anger, it increases how much? Unlimitedly. Little ahead, by constantly hearing about devotional service, one can check the force of anger, which is detrimental to the process of devotional service. So constant hearing. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. 24 hours keep hearing. Srila Parikshit Maharaj said that the constant hearing of the pastimes of the Lord is the panacea for all material diseases. Everyone, therefore, should hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. By hearing, one can always remain in equilibrium, and thus his progress in spiritual life will not be hampered. If we are not hearing Krishna Katha, then we will be hearing Manak Katha. Our mind will say all the injustices, all assumptions basically. This was not fair, this devotee spoke like this, why you looked at me like this, all crazy things. Mental platform basically. Mind takes over. Maya takes over through mind. So one should be extremely careful. He says, Srunataha Shraddhaya Nityam Grunatascha Swacheshtitam Kalena Na Ati Dirghena Bhagavan Vishate Rudhi. Srunota, if we hear Shraddhaya with faith, Nityam, always, quality and quantity. Quantity, Nityam. Quality, Shraddhaya, with faith. Grunatascha Swacheshtitam, with great endeavor. Then Kalena na ati dirghena, not after long time, na ati dirghena, kala, not after long time. Bhagavan vishate rudhi, Lord will enter in your heart. So hearing is very important. Lord has given us one mouth and 2 ears. How many of you feel that you are using less of your mouth and more of your ears? How many of you feel you are using more of your mouth and less of your ears? Maybe me too also, because I'm asking question by using my mouth, but I'm hearing also what my mouth is saying. So they say that we should do more hearing and less speaking. So that means we should be surrounded by our superiors who will be speaking a lot and will be hearing. But over the years, it so happens, so-called progress means you are surrounded more by your subordinates, and then you are the giving sermons, all instructions, and they are hearing. Yes, Prabhu, yes, man, yes, sir, yes, sir. Yes, men are surrounding you, and no men, you have removed them. Seniors are out. We kept them far away. We went out somewhere and opened a center. यहाँ मेरी चलती है, मैं यहाँ का राजा हूँ. ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं खोलना है, खोलना है. That's why ISKCON expands, no? 750 plus temples. Unless devotees go away from their superiors, it's physically. How would the more temples come up? If they remain with their superiors only, ISKCON will have 108 only. What was the case in 1977? But their heart should never go away from the instructions of the superiors. Guru Mukha Padmavakya Chittete Koriyai Arana Koriyamanyasya. Heart is in unison with the desire or the instructions of the spiritual master, then preaching can expand and centers can be doubled, tripled, whatever. In the next paragraph end, he says, a devotee is always non-violent. He is qualified with all good characteristics. But in the common world, when there is mischief made by others, he should not forget to become angry, at least for the time being, in order to drive away the miscreants. Hanumanji is the example Prabhupada gives. That when he was getting insulted, hey, just look at this monkey, just see the long tail and see his face. He was quiet. Undisturbed, Vaishnavas are humble. But when Lord Ram was insulted by Ravan, Then he became furious. So you dare to blaspheme my Lord? You see what I do. And he was wondering only what to do. This person should be taught a good lesson. But what to do, he was wondering. And meanwhile, they decided set his tail on fire. Okay, very good. Now fire will be with my body only. I will burn whole Lanka. And he burnt also. So that's how a devotee should be. He should use his anger for destroying those. Destroying means not physically. We should not cause physical destruction like Hanumanji. We should defeat the person with sound philosophical arguments. Arjun is another example. Draupadi was insulted, Pandavas, his brothers were insulted, who were all Vaishnavas. So he became angry and killed all the adharmis, unrighteous people. In purport to this verse, Chakravarti Path says, this is simply imitating common behavior. You show anger externally to announce to people your affection for your brother. So, he is saying, as sickness is controlled by medicine, by constantly hearing instructions, control anger, which is the great enemy of proper conduct. All good fortune to you. Okay, 30 seconds. Yenopastustat purushal लोक उद्विजते भृशं न बुधस्तद्वशं गच्छेद इच्छन् भयमात्मनः. A person who desires liberation from this material world should not fall under the control of anger, because when bewildered by anger, one becomes a source of dread for all others. It's a very nice section on anger. Dangers of anger, what are outcomes. So if you want to cover for some of your devotee friends, you may do that. So those who want the liberation, they should not fall prey to anger, because one will be bewildered and others will be fearful of him, he'll go away. Devotees are our protectors, they will all run away from us. There is some kind of enjoyment in that when you create fear in others. We are all small terrorists. We create terror in the hearts of others. At least some people we like to create terror in their heart. Just see how powerful I am. But this is not good. But Vaishnavas are protectors. They will go far away and will be destroyed. You know those 4 cows. They are always grazing together, drinking water together, wandering together. And lion wanted to eat them, but he was fearful. If you attack on one cow, 3 other cows will kill him. So he created misunderstanding in them. One cow's ears whispered, "This is only for you, don't tell others." And after he went away, other 3 cows asked, What did he say? Tell us. No, that is none of your business. Why should you ask me? That is only for me. What is this? What kind of friend? There is nothing hidden in among us. Oh, so nothing, no secret. You are not telling we are going away. So the cows, like that, each cow went away from other cows. And when they were separately grazing, one by one, the lion attacked and killed them. So when we are away from association of devotees, we are in very deadly zone. And should never be alone. Purport. A devotee or saintly person should not be dreadful to others, nor should anyone be a source of dread to him. So it's very friendly relationship. That is hallmark of a Vaishnava. Everyone becomes terrified of the person overcome by anger. Desiring freedom from death, the intelligent person should control anger. 33rd. Helanam girisha bhratur dhanadasya tvaya kritam yajja gnivan punajanan punyajanan bhratugna nityamarshitah. My dear Dhruva, you thought that the Yakshas killed your brother, and therefore you have killed great numbers of them. But by this action, you have agitated the mind of Lord Shiva's brother Kuvera, who is the treasurer of the demigods. Please note that your actions have been very disrespectful to Kuvera and Lord Shiva. In purport, Prabhupada says, Lord Shiva and his brother Kuvera, they are brothers. And Yakshas belong to Kuvera's family. That we have offended Kuvera and Shiva. Tam prasadaya vassashu सन्नत्या प्रश्रयोक्तिभिः न यावन्महतां तेजः कुलं नो अभिभविष्यति. For this reason, my son, you should immediately pacify Kuvera with gentle words and prayers, and thus his wrath may not affect our family. In purport, in our common dealings, we should maintain friendship with everyone, and certainly with such exalted demigods as Kuvera. Today morning discussion. Our behavior should be such that no one should become angry and thereby commit a wrong to individuals, families, or society. So it's a great responsibility on our shoulders. We may get carried away, and that may be dangerous for some others. And then last one. So here he is instructed him, satisfy Kuber immediately. 35th last. Evam swayambhuvah pautram anushasya manurdhruvam tenabhivanditah sakam Rushibhihi swapuram yayo. Thus Swayambhu Manu, after giving instruction to Dhruva Maharaj, his grandson, received respectful obeisances from him. Then Lord Manu and the great sages went back to their respective homes. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 11th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Swayambhu Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting. Any question? Beyond time limit, questions are not welcome. Let me not commit the grave Vaishnava aparadha. Yes, you may be thinking that. Any question online? Okay, so should we end? Why are you asking? We should end. Time is over. You must end. Okay, we'll end. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, हिताय गौर प्रेमानंदी.
Announcement. Hare Krishna. On October 14th to 18th, we are planning to have Bhakti Vaibhav. Radhika Vallabh Prabhu is being fixed. 3rd week, 14th. So is it fine? 3rd week.